Welcome. It takes usually just a moment or two for the live stream to catch up with YouTube or YouTube to catch up with the live stream, but we should be connected now. And let me just start with this thought that today and our time together now is not about who you used to be, but it's about who you still are and who you're becoming. Hi, I'm Rick Cram, and this is Plan to Be Your Best Live. Based on Plan to Be Your Best as you navigate pain, the approach to discovering your unique resilience and ways to grow it in an ongoing way, especially if you're in some kind of pain. Perhaps you're dealing with physical pain, like myself, chronic pain after the seventh surgery on my left knee in 2019 has left it in a state of trauma. On top of that, 15 years now of living with chronic pain since a football injury when I was 18. Or if you're grieving, or if you're distressed in some shape or form, this hour is for you. If you can relate that pain has a unique and potent way of hijacking not only our focus, not only our energy, not only our sense of hope, but it can also shake and even hijack our sense of self. So, what we're going to do today is basically look through, and this is the second episode of Plan to Be Your Best Live, in which we're taking a look at three questions and the answers that you'll have and how they apply to each of the 8 dimensions in your life. The previous episode went through the first three of the 8, the intellectual, the mental journey, which, as you probably know full well, and with perhaps words that only you can describe what that mental journey is like. The same is for the emotional journey. The emotional dimension is a powerful one when it comes to a pain experience, a resilience experience, and then also the physical. That was the third. Today we'll start with the emotional. Let's see, what shall we start with today? I'm going to actually, I've got answers for each of the three questions. My intent is for us to actually take a look at each of these different dimensions, offer you three possible answers to each of the three questions, which has to do with rediscovering your unique self, your true self, your good self, and what is unchangeable about you. Basically, those are the three questions. It's your answers that matter, not mine, not even the suggestions, but these are in our time together. What I'll do differently from last week, our time together is designed to be a prompt so that you can actually go through these questions, listen to the answers, come up with your own, and keep coming back to these, both between this recorded version as well as the individual excerpts that I'll put together so that you can keep coming back to it when you need to re-anchor in who you are and who you're becoming. I'm going to check to see if anyone is here with me. We're live on YouTube, and I want to welcome you. I'm glad you're here. And I will also be checking the comments and questions, any questions that you've got during our time together, as well as during the recorded version. I keep coming back. And of course, I get notices when you post a thought or a comment or a question, and I'll definitely reply to you. So why don't we begin with this particular thought? As we get into the social aspect of our lives and the three questions: what is true about you, what is good about you, and what is unchangeable. And let me begin with this brief thought. When I was first having people come to me saying, how do I get through this? How do I strengthen my resilience? How do I win back who I am? How do I win back my focus and spark new positive energy? I found, and what I sought to do, especially when a corporate client asked me to do this, to see that there are no secrets when it comes to strengthening your resilience, but there are discoveries. And I think what you'll find, there will be energy, positive energy that comes from the discoveries from your answers to these questions. Welcome. So glad that you're here. And the idea of basically the social self is where we, and when we're in pain, we're always showing up in each of these different dimensions of life. In the social dynamics and dimension of your life, your family, friends, colleagues, and so forth, what is true about you? And here are three possible answers for you to entertain, but it's your answer or answers which really matter the most. You have given more than people realize. You are careful about who you let in. That's earned wisdom. Not everyone deserves access to you. What is true about you? Go ahead and write down your answer or pause the video and have a conversation with someone. I'm here for you as well if you'd like to talk about it. The next question is, what is good about you? What about you is good? Here are three possible answers. You show up for others in thoughtful, meaningful ways. You're a holder of hope, whether you feel strong or not. You encourage with authenticity. What is good about you? Go ahead and write down your answers. I invite you to do that. Take a deep breath and think about the possible answers. Your answers are the only ones that really matter. What is unchangeable about you? When so much seems to change, given the pain experience that you're in, the grieving, the stress, and all that comes with it, there are parts of you that will never change. What are they? Perhaps they are, your presence carries value. You are made for connection, even slow or selective connection. You are not meant to walk alone. Even if you must start there, you're not meant to walk alone. I'll come back to these with a few thoughts. Another powerful dimension in life is our spiritual dimension. And when we're in pain, we're looking for hope. Sometimes we're screaming inside, screams and thoughts, a pining, an urgency that no one can ever understand but you. In your spiritual life, what is true about you? A few possible options. You're on a spiritual journey that pain cannot cancel. Your questions are not proof of failure. They are signs of faith. They are signs of hope. God walks with you even when you can't walk far. What is good about you? You still seek meaning. You pray, even if the prayer is help me. I will say this. Since the last surgery and experiencing daily pain as I do, there's one particular prayer where I asked God, I was figuratively on my knees at a very low point. I asked God, help me. I need you. And the answer, the whisper in the heart was immediate. And it was clearly, God, I need you too. I got up from that with a new spark of energy that I needed in that moment and can keep reaching back to when I think about that moment of prayer. That's what I hope you discover as you're spending time with these questions. And most of all, spending time with your answers. Look for the energy that comes from them. What is good about you? Again, you still seek meaning. You pray, even if the prayer is help me. You carry sacred endurance. I do believe that the conversations that we have, the time we have together, when we're thinking about navigating the pain and navigating and seeking resilience, that this is sacred time. We're on hallowed ground together. Thank you. Thanking you for being here. What is unchangeable about you? You are loved. Thoroughly, deeply, richly loved. Fully loved. You are held even when you feel alone. In a way, as much as you might need others, you might need the Lord, and you need the love from others. There's also a unique love that only you can give yourself. In a way, what would it look like for you to hold yourself? Give yourself grace. Let your spirit in you, let your soul Love you as only you can. That is a source of strength for you. And lastly, what is unchangeable about you? Your identity is rooted in something greater than circumstance. Indeed, your best is greater than the pain. The next dimension is the professional side of your life. This part of your life where you are perhaps driven, perhaps you have purpose, perhaps there's a tremendous amount of meaning and even identity in this dimension of your life. In this professional dimension of your life, what is true about you? Here are three options. Your value is not measured in productivity or output. Your value is so much more. Pain may change how you work, but not your why. Have you ever noticed how much energy, positive energy, comes from your why? Not just knowing it, but also acting on it. You still have strengths to offer. I know sometimes the pain journey can be utterly exhausting, but you still have strengths. This may sound familiar to you, but it's almost as if your resilience and your strengths are made perfect in your exhaustion. What is good about you? Three options. What would you add? You lead with empathy earned in the fire. You know how to recognize what truly matters. You bring meaning to what you do. And what is unchangeable about you when it comes to your professional life, your sense of purpose in your work? Your purpose is not fragile. It's solid. You are capable of growth at any pace. Your calling cannot be taken, only directed. I encourage you to consider your own answers to those questions. What is true about you? What is good about you? And what is unchangeable? Not only write them down for this moment, but for coming back to them, maybe hours, days, even months later. Looking at these answers can be an anchor for you, can help you generate new positive energy that you need for creating a compelling now, the kind of now that is so compelling, so positive, that it gives you the energy to go with the flow, move beyond the pain, even take all that you experience with the pain and move forward and not fight the pain. What are your answers to those three questions in your professional life, your purpose-driven life? The next dimension is the environmental. It's not just the physical environment, but there's an aspect of our environment that is indeed mental, emotional. Where are what are those characteristics about your environment, inside and outside? And what is true about you, what is good about you, and what is unchangeable? What is true about you? Three options for you to add to. You are sensitive to what surrounds you: energy, noise, people. You need spaces that feel safe and restorative. Your surroundings affect your nervous system. Your surroundings have an energy all their own. Energy, to a great extent, is about, or let me put it this way, resilience is all about energy, how you create it, how you preserve it, and how you spend it. And a lot of energy can be drained from us based on our environment, or our environment can actually create energy. What would it look like for you to perhaps observe your environment? Think, what changes need to be made so they that produces more energy for you. Within your environmental dimension, what is good about you? You're learning to design your world with care. You create pockets of peace where you can. You notice beauty in small places. And what is unchangeable about you? You are allowed to take up space. You have a right to boundaries about your environment. That's so important. Are there certain boundaries that you know need to be in place, but you just haven't just yet put them there? That's so important. You are worthy of a life that feels like yours. Yours. You ever find yourself saying, even with the pain, even with the weight, the grieving, the desperation, where you take some deep breaths and say, this is part of my amazing life story, and my best days are ahead of me. How might you take a look at the environment that you're in and make changes that reflect that? One more. The financial dimension of life. This can be one area of life where there are new and uncomfortable, stressful strains, including on your sense of self, your sense of value. What is true about you? Pain influences resources, but does not define them. Your current situation is not your identity. Indeed, you are the author of your story, of your identity. Money stress is real. It is profoundly real. The stress when it comes to money affects us in so many ways. There's that question of control, and the lack thereof is another layer of stress which needs to be cared for, needs to be addressed, and also needs to be recognized that that does not define you. Money stress is real, but you are not alone. What is good about you? You make wise, compassionate decisions. You make them when you can. Sometimes you ever find yourself saying, I don't want to make a single decision right now. I just need to be. I need to focus on getting through this painful moment or this painful day, this painful night. And it might not be the primary source of pain, such as with me, my left knee, but it might be that mental dimension, the stress of it all. Over 6 years of finding nothing to help give me any relief, I have a powerful need, a desperate need for help. And sometimes if I'm awakened in the middle of the night and I'm in constant pain, I need to not make any decisions, but just work on being in the moment, being resilient, going with the flow and not fighting it. Those are ways in which I'm unchangeable. What is unchangeable about you when it comes to your financial situation? Your worth is not transactional. Provision can come in more forms than income. Provision can come in more forms than income. You are allowed to want better. To a great extent, that is a significant part of the journey of pain through the course of 50 years and in the past 6+ years. The idea of wanting is beyond words. You want relief, you want help. One of the things that I have been writing about in the book, preparing the first manuscript, is the want for some of the deepest parts of my life. What are your wants? And these are unchangeable needs and wants, such as the need for love. How can love show up in you for yourself? How can love show up in your faith? How can love show up from others that helps you get through today, helps you get through this moment? So that concludes the financial part, all 8 dimensions. And I just want to thank you very much for the note, and thank you for sharing this as well. I'm grateful. This is what meant to be shared. So the 8 dimensions include the intellectual, the mental, the emotional, the physical, social, spiritual, our work life, the professional life, part of you that has a sense of purpose with your work and your resources, environmental and financial. I'm going to just take a few minutes and go through. There were a number of words that stood out that I'd like to reflect on with you. And I'm curious to know your thoughts on these when it comes to the social part and those 3 questions. What about you is true? What about you is good? And what about you is unchangeable? The social, we have tremendous needs. And when it comes to when we show up in our social life, when I show up with others, I'm bringing pain. It's very visible when I have a blast of pain. It's usually 8, 9, 10. It's agony. And everyone around me knows. It's hard for me to show up in a way bringing that stress that creates different reactions in a social situation or whatever it might be, at work, or saying hello to someone at the grocery store, or talking to somebody that I know, going out to dinner, or even coffee in the morning. It's the pain starts even before I get out of bed. And one of the things I've noticed is that how different people react very differently to seeing me in pain or someone else in pain. And it's been a real challenge for me. Some people say, all right, let's go. Let's change this. There's a part of me that is thinking, I'm having blast after blast. And then I want to go. But that doesn't mean that these relationships have changed. It doesn't mean that I have changed. I still need the social interaction. I have not changed. Circumstances have changed. What circumstances have changed for you? And how might you anchor in what remains to be true? And let me introduce this idea. As you apply these 3 questions to each of the dimensions, what about you is true? What about you is good? And what about you is unchangeable? That you keep an eye open for how those 3 questions applied to each of the 8 dimensions of your life create an absolutely unmistakable source of energy. The energy that helps create a compelling now to get through this moment. Creates a compelling now that helps you not fight the pain, but go forward. If you're going to fight anything, fight with the flow. Fight for the flow. And fight for the next moment. Not a fight that is in any shape or form adversarial. Not a fight where you're forcing anything, but allowing it. Let the fight be something that you're saying, I'll allow this, and I'll move into the next moment. When it comes to that social dynamic, there's that question about what about you is good? You're true to yourself. There is that possibility, that one option for you to consider is that authentic self. Be you just as you are. No apologies. Be you. To a great extent, being your true self, your authentic self, is part of your own unique resilience. No apologies. No apologies. When it comes to the spiritual self, so many people buy books on the topic of why, trying to find meaning to the part of their life that hurts so much. And some people will say, you're supposed to be experiencing this because there's a why behind it. I wasn't supposed to be injured, so to speak. No entity or being or creator made that happen, but it did, that injury. But turning it into purpose is something up to me. Do you look at what you're experiencing, the pain and all that comes with it, as something that you might wonder in your search for meaning that there was a reason for it to happen? Let me invite you to not look at it that way, because on one hand, whatever there might be an answer to the question of why, I believe it's irrelevant. The only thing that matters is what you do with it. It's going to be, the meaning is going to be found in your own innate motivation, need for turning it for good, the need for saying, I'm uniquely qualified because of what I've experienced, and I'm qualified more than ever, with more value than ever, to help encourage others going through something similar or in some shape or form, who know the mental depression, being in the pit, the emotional upset, the grieving. You are more valuable than ever. Turn whatever you're experiencing into giving it meaning for yourself and how it can help others. We live in a world where so many people are hurting. They need you. There's that line, that one possible answer to what is unchangeable about you. You are loved, fully loved. And it's true. It is true. To a great extent, I haven't used these words before, really, but I'm here taking 50 years of pain, daily pain, and using it to say, I see you. I love you. I truly do. It's out of love that I'm doing this, to hopefully encourage you, even if it's just once, for this moment. I'm doing it for you, but also there's a part of it that is flowing right back to me and helping lift me up. In a way, when I say I'm a holder of hope for you, I'm also saying I believe in you. And the source of that belief is love. If you know what it means to be in so much pain that you truly feel a weight you've never felt before, an overwhelm you've never felt before, that is taking time off of your life, then you know how powerfully love is needed, how encouragement is needed, how understanding is needed, how hope is needed. I know. I live it every day. And therefore, I found that I can better navigate it all. I can be my best when I love more. You are fully loved. And when it comes to this, when it comes to the spiritual dimension of life, whatever your belief might be, there's love there. For me, thanks to my Lord, thanks to Jesus, God, and the Holy Spirit, it's all in me. And I find hope there. I find energy. I find patience. I find grace. I find myself. And sometimes navigating pain is about, on one hand, an experience where we can easily lose ourselves. But when we go through it with a level of intention like this, we find ourselves. We find ourselves still growing, still, even with the hurting, even with the pain, there's growth in character. And we know that from character, we find hope. That's the deeper and deeper the well of character, the deeper the source of hope. So dig that deep well, keep growing your character. If you'd like to have some ways to do that, contact me and let's jump on the phone or Zoom and talk, and I'll share some ways that you can do that. It's a time that'll be safe, confidential, and simply a time of encouragement. One of the things that I hope you'll do when you take a look at these questions and go through the different dimensions, have a conversation with someone else about them, because resilience grows through conversation. When you talk about these, you'll find that you experience yourself more. Those answers that are uniquely yours are the ones where you find, talking about them, you're immersing yourself in you. I hope you'll share with me your questions, your thoughts. Let me know what some of your answers might be. That will actually be a source of encouragement for me. Let me check to see if there are any other comments. Thank you so much for that one. Thank you. Yes, thank you for sharing. Moving ahead, one of the things I'll do is add to this episode, down in the description, a link to a one-page worksheet that you can download and use time and time again for each of the 8 different dimensions of your life, and asking and answering those 3 questions. What about you is true? What about you is good? And what about you is unchangeable? I'll add the link to the episode from last week as well. It's a fillable PDF so that you can use your device to use it over and over. You can print it out, make multiple copies, digital copies or printed copies. And I think what you'll find, especially if you print it out and use a blue pen, interestingly enough, studies show that writing in blue ink is both soothing and helps you remember what you write more. That writing is a form of expression that is uniquely different and potent compared to typing it out. To watch your hand, feel your hand write out your answers. But let me know how that PDF helps you. Let me know how all of this helps you remember that your best is greater than the pain. Coming up in the weeks ahead, I've got some wonderful lineup of guests who will be inspiring, who will encourage you and me. I want to thank you so much for watching. I wish you a great day and a week ahead. Until next Friday, the next Plan to Be Your Best Live. I'm Rick Cram. Thank you so much.